So let's move on to some anti-hero Chronicles.
Good.
Unfortunately, Sorely will be Justin is not with us
Sorely
today.
missed.
Sorely missed.
Oh,
Oh man.
But Gary's been practicing
standing
his Christopher Nolan's Batman voice, so I think he's got
Perfect.
it.
We'll give it a go. I'm no Justin, but we'll give it a go.
We'll give it a good shot. How's that?
Sneaky. Pfft, wow. Cool.
Ready when you guys are. I get that you're upset. Upset? Easto, the longer that Sorley is in custody, the sooner he'll be broken by that damn interrogator. When she breaks his mind open, she'll see everything we've done. I know that. And when that happens, how far we've come, everything that's been done, gone, up in smoke. You don't know that. Yes, I do. It's what happened every single time, Easto. Every time. Every time we try to put together this grand plan to put things back like they were, this fucking happens. That's enough, Malika.
The supplier's hunched pacing stopped. She stood, fully upright, and glowered at the lawyer.
Do not call me that, Easto Rita. We're not talking about that right now. You seem to have forgotten why we're doing this. Why, after gods know how many attempts, we're doing this again. You know that's not... No, I don't. You're getting reckless, putting yourself out in the open, not using your projections, gearing up like you're going to go fight this war yourself.
The supplier scuffed a hoof against the linoleum, leaving a sharp gouge behind.
You need to remember... You need to remember why we swore that we wouldn't act ourselves, why we would use a proxy, why we can't take direct action. I do remember, Easto. I was there. Remember?
Malika Cross, hero name Red Magus, the arcane hero. Impressive. I haven't seen a recruit fresh from exams assigned to the Global Protectorate in quite some time. The coordinating officer said after dropping the file back onto the table. Too bad they got a designation wrong. Red Magus? More like Red Bangus, am I right? Stow it. Malika held up a hand.
I can take care of this. Thank you, officer.
What are you gonna do about it, Toots?
Toots? Toots? My name is Malika Cross. Hero designation, Red Magus, the arcane hero. You are Henry Fitz, hero designation Presto, the hat-trick hero. Now tell me.
Malika held her right hand out to snap the man's limbs tight against his body, and held him off the floor of the facility by 6.5 feet.
Who here should be calling who Toots? Presto was a fool and a fake. He deserved it. You're not wrong, Mal, but that was your first day. You know what they say about first impressions. And look where that's gotten you. Dismissed out of hand by one of the few that sorely trusts. And what about you, Easto? Catherine Knight rejected you just as easily. I'm not the one throwing a fit about it. And why aren't you, Easto, You've invested a lot of time in that boy. You were proud of him the last time I saw you two together. Why don't you care that they won't help us to help him?
The supplier stalked toward Easto with the question.
Because Psyker isn't going to be able to break the boy, Malika. And how do you know that?
Easto folded his arms over his chest and smirked.
Maybe if you'd hung around to talk with him, you would know. Know what, Easto? He's been visited, Mal, by 2 of the old ones.
Sorley's body burned from the inside. Fire pumped through his veins. Billowing smoke swelled in his muscles. Get out of my head! Sorley cracked his forehead across the bridge of Psyker's nose. She tumbled off of him, clutching at her face and groaning. Sorley grunted with effort as he wrestled against his frozen restraints. Deep cracks formed in the ice, threatening to break apart before he felt the loosened chunks pressing against his body. What the? Sorley looked up. Psyker was levitating 6 inches off the ground. There was an indigo shimmer outlining her. The whites, irises, and pupils of her eyes were gone, replaced with a violently glowing violet. And the immaculate bun atop her head unfurled into a floating mass of hair, undulating on repeat as she held her hands out. The table, chairs, and torn-up chunks of the concrete wall and floor slammed against him and constricted. Sorley uttered his new catchphrase. Shit.
You should have told me!
Isto pulled himself out of the wall, right next to where he'd planted the house-sized construct not too long ago, and brushed himself off.
Mal,
The supplier unleashed another arcane bolt at Isto's chest. He outstretched his hand and caught it in his palm, crushing it against his viridian aura.
We had a deal, Isto! You...
Isto vanished from his spot and reappeared directly in front of the supplier.
Had every intention of following through. You kept yourself too far from him, Malika.
The supplier slammed her fists against Isto's chest, met with a hollow pong as she impacted the protection of his aura.
Why didn't you...
Isto caught her wrists and held.
That's enough, Mel.
The supplier gritted her teeth and leveled a glassy glare at Isto. He pushed her wrists into her chest and wrapped his arms around her shuddering shoulders.
That's enough. It's simple, Miss Cross. You accept what must be a new record for internal transfers, or the promotion to the champion bracket that you've been offered a dozen times. Either way, as long as you pursue either option and stay 10 miles from Malcolm Fitz, aka Presto III, you won't find yourself suspended without pay. Again.
Isto Raita, assistant internal mediator of the GSO, offered.
Why should I do either of those things? Why should I listen to a pencil-pushing fop in a cheap suit?
Isto ground his teeth and surveyed the room. The red lights on the cameras winked off, and he knew no one was on the other side of the one-way glass. No one ever was when it came to Red Magus. At least, that's what his predecessor told him.
Because, Miss Cross, your career as a superhero is at stake.
The words were foul as they crossed his lips. He nearly retched.
My career? You think I do this for the paycheck?
Isto's arched eyebrow grazed his hairline. He cleared his throat and steadied his face.
Then, Miss Cross, may I ask why do you do this work?
Malika crossed her arms over her chest and slumped back into her chair.
Why does that matter? Just another bubble for you to fill in on your questionnaire? Do you see a questionnaire anywhere? The last guy wasn't me, Miss Cross. Now answer the question. Why do you choose to be a hero?
Isto pushed his briefcase and notepad aside, leaning his elbows onto the table and making eye contact with the devil woman seated across from him. Her cheeks flushed for a moment before she answered.
This world needs heroes. Real heroes. Not walking advertisements, not poster boys, not models toting super weapons. Heroes. And what makes someone a hero? Someone who does the right thing, who sacrifices, who would gladly give their life to save the life of their worst enemy. And are you a hero, Miss Cross?
Her eyes shifted, a steeled determination manifesting in her expression.
Someday I will be.
Sorley screamed.
Isn't that so much better, Mr. Grimerson?
If it weren't for the dagger-sized shards of glass pressing into the exposed bits of skin, if it weren't for the segmented cocoon of furniture, concrete, ice, and psychic energy holding him immobile, if it weren't for the fatigue of Remedy's booster, maybe he could have done something other than scream.
More, Mr. Grimerson. Give me more.
Glass dug into his forearms, his chest, his legs, all at random and alternating intervals. Sorley couldn't predict where the pain would come from first, so he did the only thing he could. Sorley screamed. On the heels of Malika Cross's answer came a deafening boom, rocking the facility and knocking it out of alignment with its atmospheric anchor.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh? Uh-oh.
The station listed and went dark.
Just as I have plunged you into darkness, so shall you sink the world.
Shade. That bastard. You okay, Pencil Pusher?
Just fine, Miss Cross. Really doing great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is this?
7.
Oh, that's not so...
18.
Well, shit.
As the station continued to plummet through space toward the atmosphere, Malika thumbed the communicator in her ear.
This is Red Magus. Who's on station?
A chorus of static and answers that only served to furrow her brow sounded in the earpiece.
All right, Pencil Pusher, there are escape pods in the east wing. The gravity engines should hold for long enough for you to get there. I can buy you some time.
And what are you going to do?
Buy you time?
Shade is a champion-level threat that has kept the GSO from maintaining any one of these facilities for more than a season. I know you've been solicited to advance to the champion bracket, but do you really think that you can best him?
No, I don't.
Then why?
Because if I don't do something, no one else will. The station will crash into the heart of the Western Federation without anyone putting up a fight, because the heroes that are here can't function in low atmosphere. Not like I can.
You'll die.
Then I'll die a hero, won't I?
Martyring yourself doesn't make you a hero, Miss Cross.
Then what do I do?
Let me help you.
You?
Me.
How?
You engage with Shade and stay alive. I'll be right out.
Whatever you say, Pencil Pusher.
Is that all you've got, Red Magus? I was expecting more.
Every muscle burned under her skin. The effort to maintain the magic shield, her own little slice of atmosphere up, was starting to take a toll on her. Same with the beating she'd been taking for the last several minutes.
What? How?
The villain incredulous boomed, looking past her at the now stabilized GSO station. A streak of emerald energy slammed against the villain's shrouded form and caused him to howl in agony. Malika looked back toward the station, but stopped short when she saw Isto hovering next to her, bathed in viridian light.
How are you?
Isto loosened his tie and removed his blazer, letting the cheap garment fall. Isto's aura expanded and shifted, roaring into a solid shape.
Oh, Miss Cross. How doesn't apply to dragons. We do what we want.
Scene. Fusroda!
Yeah. So, this is a classic reveal. The dude's a fucking dragon.
He's
The
a
dragon
dragon!
reveal.
Yes.
I like it. I mean, if anyone deserves it, it's Isto for being the dopest character
Yep.
here.
Isto is the best. I think that every single person that I have talked to about this and been like, hey, check this out, has been like, man, that Isto dude, like he's my favorite. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just lean into that then. And I've had grand ideas about Isto for a while, but I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go with it. So I'm glad that I went the way that I did. Yes, Draghi.
And what's really
pretty
funny to me
cool.
is I feel like a lawyer is a very appropriate occupation for a dragon, too.
I agree. I mean, like, you know, a dragon has to know how to, like, litigate, like, the distribution of his hoard and,
Yeah.
like, you know, manage his lair and keep all of his hatchlings safe, like, all that kind of stuff. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and, you know, it's counting money.
Exactly. So, a lot, I had a lot of fun writing this episode because I wanted to show kind of like the beginnings of how Isto and the supplier started working together and kind of who they were before who they are. And to really make sure that it's apparent that they are both like old as dirt. And Malika Cross is the kind of person that will terrorize someone over a grudge for 3 generations if left unattended.
Wait a minute. Now, I missed something then, if we went back that far.
Right.
So what was the indicator that we went back far enough to where we would know how...
So the first Presto was Henry Fitz.
Gotcha.
The third
The
Presto,
third, yeah,
Presto
gotcha.
the third,
Oh,
was Malcolm
nice.
Fitz.
Gotcha. I totally went over my head, dude.
It's all good.
Good writing. Good writing. I
Little
like that.
small little details.
Yeah,
Are the fun
yeah.
stuff. Make stories really
It's like
just
a
kind of
cool
pop
Easter
out.
egg thing. You like look back and be like, "What? Hold on a second. What? Wait. Holy shit!"
Presto the third. What do you mean? So it's a lot of fun, and we've got probably 2 or 3 more episodes left in the season before the execution of the Great Heist.
Uh-oh.
And kind
Love
of
heists.
finally
Son of a
finally
bitch. I'm in.
seeing son of a bitch, I'm in. Seeing Sorley get sprung from his little cage there. So really excited to see how everybody reacts to the rest of it for the season
Excellent.
coming up.
Yeah, this one was a lot of fun. We're getting tighter with those sound effects. This is good. This is good.
Yeah.
We're getting
was
to a
super
point
tight.
where like we'll be able to just do this.
Considering we're also dealing with like the lag of the internet.
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
not even just a pure timing thing. It's like, okay, how do I time it with their specific audio and their specific audio?
Right.
Oh shit.
But it's
Exactly.
feeling pretty smooth right here.
Yeah,
Like, I
it
feel
is.
like
Great.
Our
Real smooth.
response time's not bad right now. So
Not at all.
yes. All right. Well, Joe DiProfio, thank you so much for another episode of the
you're very
Anti-Hero
welcome.
Chronicles.
It was kick ass.
By the way, if any of you guys didn't know this, we are currently doing a thing called Soundbooth Theater Radio, where every weekday except for Wednesday, we have an SBTJ hanging out in our Discord channel, streaming our audiobooks live. And a lot of them are listening to older stuff that, hasn't been as popular lately, just getting into the deep cuts, showing
Absolutely.
you guys all the extra stuff that we've been doing and giving you guys an opportunity to check out stuff that maybe you wanted to before but never got a chance to and you weren't really willing to drop the $10-15 just yet. So yeah,
You
come
can
hang
spend
out with us.
$5 on it on Sunday.
Oh, right. That's true. That's true.
Very
But
true.
if you come to the Discord server, the Soundbooth Theater Live Discord server, and hang out with us from 10 in the morning 10 in the morning Eastern to about 2 p.m. with Joe DiProfio on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Currently, he's listening to Dungeon Lord.
Yep. Dungeon Lord the
and
First.
Today, he listens to Earth Force.
Yes.
So next week, he's going to be continuing both of those books. Fridays are my brother, and that's 10 to 6. So this is basically two sessions. Delvers in the morning, I believe he's doing, and then Deep Madness in the afternoon. And then on Monday, we have Jessica, who she is listening to... What is she listening to?
I think
Dracula.
one of the things that she's listening to is Dracula, which is really, really cool.
Yeah. And what was the first one? It was, right, Secret of the Old Ones. Another Blaze Corbin. So she should be wrapping that one up on Monday if she's not already done with it, because it was a very short book. But she's listening to those on Monday, 10 to 6 as well. So please, guys, come hang out with us. See if you can find an audiobook that you really dig and that you just get too impatient to wait for the next week to listen to. And, please bring friends. Bring anybody who you think would enjoy this content to our Discord server to hang out with Joe DiProfio, Bill Letson, Jessica Castro, the SBTJs on SBT Radio.
Yeah, it's a great time. We have a lot of fun. Like, we just kind of sit there and we talk about some of the books as they're going on. Like, I haven't listened to Earth Force before. Like Dungeon Lord is like a classic for me. Like, it brought me to the lit RPG genre and brought me to Soundbooth Theater in general. But Earth Force, like, we were sitting there, we were like, man, like this kid, like, he's just got these powers that he's not really talking about. Like, what's going on? I'm not going to actually spoil anything. Earth Force is super cool. It is a deep dive, so it's like, $13.99 right now. It's going to be $5 on Sunday.
You need to
Five.
get it.
Yeah, you do need to get it. You need to get it.
You said it's 13 what? No, 13.95?
It's
$13.99 right now.
You
I
can
mean,
almost
I don't
get
mind if
3
you buy it
books
now.
for that
Please
price
do.
on Sunday. You get
But on
You
3
can buy it
books.
On Sunday, for 2 weeks, it'll be $5.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll need to clean up on Sunday.
Oh, yes. Please do. All right, guys. Well, Joe, thanks again. You've been awesome. And it is time for us to go on to our next segment.